In this video, I'm using the all-new WeCreat Pro 45-watt laser machine and the newly updated rotary attachment for a couple of fun rotary projects, a glass candle holder, and a craft paper keepsake box. In past videos, I created a number of different projects with great results on all the different materials. There's even a video with the phenomenal cutting abilities of the WeCreat machine. Welcome to the Laser Channel, where we learn, create, and share. My name is Greg, and in this video, I'm using the WeCreat Vision Pro for a couple of reasons. One of them being the newly updated laser module. It's going to give me a very fine spot size, which means I have greater cutting ability while still maintaining fine engraving detail. The other reason is the newly updated rotary attachment. This is going to really expand on the types of projects I can create using the rotary attachment. Speaking of which, let's take a closer look at it. The rotary maintains the same easy attachment up to the laser machine. It's the chuck head that receives some of the updates. This is going to be a little bit larger and a lot more beefier. There's also the addition of 3 rubber pads to easily grip to the inside of project materials. There's 2 sets of jaws that add versatility to projects. These jaws, by the way, can face inwards or outwards on the chuck. The kit includes 3 finger extensions for doing small, delicate work or just versatility and grabbing onto different projects. There's also 3 rubber, sleeves. These sleeves can slide onto these finger extensions, adding to the versatility of all the projects I can create on the rotary. That's a lot of cool features, but now it's time to start on the first project. I'm going to be using this glass. I'll install a set of appropriate fingers and get the rotary installed inside of the machine. I'll line the guide pin up with the corresponding hole in the frame. Installation of the rotary is super easy. It's just 2 screws and 1 connector, and I'm all set. Before I put the glass in the rotary, I do need to apply some black tempera paint. This is going to allow the glass to accept the engraving process. I'll pre-warm the glass to help the paint dry and apply 3 to 4 even coats. All my paint is dry, and this is what it should look like when it's properly coated. I coated mine all the way around because I'm going to be doing a 360 engraving wrap. I have the glass installed in the rotary, and now it's time to turn my attention to the free Make It software and activate the rotary unit inside of the machine. This is what I love about the Make It software. Everything is just so easy. I come up here to the top of the screen, pull this menu down and go laser cylindrical. And that's all I have to do. That is fully calibrated and ready to go right out of the box. The only other setup thing I need to do is to enter in the perimeter or the circumference or the diameter. I already measured that on the glass before I started painting it with that black tempera paint, and I got 253 millimeters. Once I enter the diameter or the circumference, the camera automatically updates the image and it rescales the work area for my graphics that'll fit around an object with the dimensions that I have entered in. I zoomed in a little bit. We can check out the graphic that I've got loaded in. It's going to be a star constellation that wraps around this glass candle holder. I think this is going to be a really neat project. Here I've got the top of my graphic, and if I just place that over the glass, it's the base that I'm actually hanging on to. That's the very top of the screen. In fact, when I get the graphic back out of the way, we're going to see here's the opening, and I want the opening to be the top of the graphic. So I'll just come up here to rotate, and we're going to flip this 180 degrees. That now looks correct, and I can just slide this down, and that looks good. I already have my graphic width at 153 millimeters. although the height is a little bit too tall, so I think I'm going to take that down to about 60 millimeters. And now I can slide that down, and I've got a little bit of headroom at the top and a little bit of room down at the bottom. Being careful that I'm not placing any graphics in the non-working warning area. I have the graphic position just where I'd like it, and let's check out some of the settings that I have. The material, it defaulted to a metal stainless steel tumbler simply because it doesn't have anything for glass engraving. While I could certainly go and make my own material test card and save that with a photo within the software, today, to keep things moving along, I'm bypassing that. For my power level, I have it set at 85%. The speed, 160 millimeters per second. If you're new to engraving glass with the laser diode machine, this is really fast. My line density is set at 115. A couple tips that I have for doing full wrap engraving. I like to use graphics that are broken up on the two outside edges, and the star constellation is a perfect example. There's no clear line on this side or this side, so if it accidentally overlaps a little bit or if there's a little bit of a gap, it's really not going to be all that noticeable. If I'm doing a full wrap with a solid border on both the right and the left hand side, I like to leave a 2 to 3 millimeter reveal, little gap in between the two ends. I think this looks purposeful, and I think it looks aesthetically pleasing. I could take extra time and get it to meet up exactly. The machine is very repeatable, and the software is rock solid and very repeatable as well. The problem comes in when I load in the next glass blank. If you work with glass a lot, you're going to find out that dimensionally, there's a lot of differences between individual pieces. That's why I always recommend just leaving a little bit of a gap reveal from one end of the graphic to the other. This all looks good. All I need to do is hit the start button, get some background music, and we'll check out some of the engraving on this glass candle holder. Here's the engraving straight out of the machine, and just check out this full 360 wrap. This looks so awesome. And the best part of using tempera paint is just some warm soapy water, and this cleans right up. I'll use the machine as a dark background. Check this out. I just love the way that the graphics show up on the front. We can see some of them coming through on the back. The star constellation was a perfect graphic for this project. Now, I know some of you with a keen eye will ask why I use the jaws that grab from the outside and not the rubber-coated jaws that are built into the chuck to grab from the inside, and I've got a very good explanation for that. The tempera paint that I use to coat this only absorbs a very small amount of the laser energy. The rest of that energy passes straight through the glass, and it would hit anything that's directly behind it. If I was using those rubber-covered jaws, that laser would be striking those jaws, damaging them, and that's why I chose the jaws that grabbed on the bottom from the outside. I'm going to put some black sand in the bottom and get an LED teacup light, put this inside, and let's see what this finished project looks like. It's really rewarding to engrave glass and get those perfect results. This next project, I'm going to be using this craft paper keepsake box. Once again, I'm going to be doing a full 360 graphic wrap all the way around, and taking my own advice, I'm going to leave a 2 to 3 millimeter reveal where the seam would be. I'm using the finger extensions this time to hold this project securely in place. Those finger extensions allow my workpiece to extend beyond the non-working area. I've entered in the new perimeter of 303 millimeters, and I've loaded in my graphic design, this really cool circle swirl design. When I click on that, we'll find that my Dimensions are going to be 300. So I should have about a 3mm reveal when the ends of the pattern meets back up. All I need to do is grab this and place it on that green center line, and I can zoom in and make sure that this is perfectly positioned. That looks great. Once again, we'll take a look at the settings I'm running. Power level of only 15%, a speed of 225 millimeters per second with a line density of 120. This all looks great. I'll get the exhaust system on and we'll watch a little video montage of this next engraving. The engraving's complete and the results are exactly what I'm looking for in the engraving itself. If I flip this around and we take a look at the seam that I purposely left on the back, I was looking for 3mm and this looks to be a little bit wider than that, so maybe that's on me. Maybe I didn't quite get a good measurement off of the diameter. One thing I don't really like is the engraving isn't perfectly lined up. As we saw during the video montage, the laser is going over the edge a little bit, which means it left a little bit of a gap up at the top. In the Make It software, I placed the graphic perfectly even with the bottom and the top, but again, with that laser going over the bottom a little bit, I've got this gap at the top. Luckily on this project though, that's easily hidden by just putting the lid back on. Today's projects were a lot of fun, and most of all, it was really easy to set up the machine to use with the Rotary, and within the software, it was really easy to create my project and send it out to the machine. If you'd like to see more projects on the WeCreat Vision Pro, let me know down below by leaving a comment. Thanks for joining me in this video, and don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, or ring that notification bell. Not only is it a great way to help the laser channel grow, it's an excellent way to connect video content like this with other great viewers just like you. Well, until we meet again in the next video, learn, create, and share.